now, wait, configuration. Okay, let me make okay, and now I gotta write down.
This is our mic, so you just speak a little bit. I think, Papa, you can speak a little bit louder, and that's a camera.
Okay. Okay.
Unique camera, huh?
Okay. All right. Okay. Need to make sure it's recording right now. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi, we're back. This is Arielle. Arielle Live TV every Thursday from 12 to 1 p.m. But today, I can do another 3 or 4 or 5. So that's gonna be every Thursday, Arielle Live TV. And today I have a very special guest. These are become part of my family, and wow, a lot to learn from them. And it's gonna be we're gonna do a series of interviews so you can learn about their tradition, you can learn about who they are, you can learn about where they at and how they're doing to our community or our nation. I want to introduce no other than Chief Joseph Chasinghorse, and the same thing. The son is also a chief. They're the same name, so it's one senior and one junior. Welcome to my show.
Oh.
Aho, I like that. Aho. So as you can see, being him as a chief, he's the only allowed to have that on his head. And of course, I call Papa Chasinghorse. They're gonna feature them another week, so follow us every week and find out what's going to happen all the way to the end. We're gonna bring the whole family, the whole elders, and the type of food that they're gonna feature later. And it's a very interesting and really interesting. And they're the only one who can have that. They call it La Peyote, the cactus. So, Papa, welcome to the show. Let's talk about you. Hold on a second. And very interesting. I learned a lot about them. I've been studying, but of course I'm not the expert. And Chief Joseph Chasinghorse, a native. He was acknowledged by NASA. This is NASA, written by NASA. Okay. Joseph Chasinghorse is a Native American cross-cultural consultant of the Black Hills and also South Dakota. He is ambassador, imagine this, he is ambassador of United Nations for the Lakota Sioux Nation, or ordained also as a Sundance chief and descendant of the great spiritual. Wow, that's big. Spiritual leader Crazy Horse. We're gonna talk about the Crazy Horse. Why is Crazy Horse? He also served as emissary to Mr. Arbal Looking Horse, the 90th caretaker of the secret white buffalo cub. So that's why this is so much for me to read. So we're gonna do episode 1 today, and then next week, in another week, in another week. So he is also Mr. Chasinghorse is an international Native American cultural consultant and gifted speaker. He also speaks throughout the nation. So this one, he was invited to the NASA. This letter that I'm reading is wrote by NASA. So with expertise of field in education and environmental issues, he also does that. And he works with NASA as a cross-cultural consultant. He also assisted on jet population laboratory in developing Lakota Star Knowledge curriculum. You see this one? We will feature that also. So, wow. I don't think I need to continue reading, but we need to learn. And also, brother, Chief Joseph Chasinghorse Jr., when did you become a chief of your nation, of your Lakota tribe?
Well, I was honored and was 7 years old by all the chiefs and my grandpa. And as I got older, my grandpa and my father and my great grandfather honored me as a chief.
Speak a little bit louder.
Honored me as a chief.
At the
Yes.
age of 7.
7, they honored me with the feather, and I blew my grandpa's whistle. Then as I got older, they put the headdress on me and honored me as a chief. Itacha.
Wow, that's a big thing, right? To become a chief, and you can become a leader of your tribe,
Yes.
correct? As you have a lot of dreams for the tribe, you are here to create a healthcare foundation, a university for the tribe, correct? That's in the
Yes.
making. So Island Turtle University. Wow, that's an honor. And being a chief, you're the only one who can wear that in Papa, right?
Yes.
So we will feature weekly. So right now I'm only giving a half of who they are and what they've been doing in our country. Papa, for you, being you as a chief and Lakota Nation, you done so much for the country. You are one as a speaker for NASA. How that how these people collaborate in you? Have they been done so much in your tribe?
Well, tokaki mitaku oyasi e pawachi. Hona iuha iushki ona pe chuzapelo. Hona sakia topale na wakanta na kuta uchimaka. Nena wichoyeki lena hoch ehank ehan. Hocha wopila tanka. Hona ija Arielle wopila tanka wa iwake. Hona hukshila want hokata kya wichasha itacha ilena wopila hecha. Ho, I'm going to interpret into English language. I wanted to greet you all in my ancient tongue, my ancient language. I greet you all with a hearty handshake to all of you that are watching out there. And I want to acknowledge, the Great Spirit, the Creator, and the four winds, and Mother Earth upon which we, as two-legged people, we live. And I want to thank Arielle here today for inviting us to share. And I want to thank the young chief here, Wambli Hupauska, and for his work and for his presence here today. And this honors me. And I am a chief traditional leader of the an interpreter of the 7 council fires of the Lakota Nation, which is a form of democracy, a form of government that existed here pre-U.S., pre-Columbus era. And many of these responsibilities of preserving our language, our culture, our ceremonies, our traditions, handed down many, many generations. Today, scientists can only theorize of how old our ancient ways of life and our language are. And so the Lakota people, which interpreted it, if you interpret that Lakota, that means that we are allies of the earth, and we are friends of the earth. And it goes along with a word called Wolakota. which means we are the keepers of the peace. We are keepers of the knowledge. And so the Lakota people throughout history, you know, are survivors and gone through a great many trials in which to preserve their lands, their connection to our Earth Mother. And so today we are in a crossroad. We live in a time where we're trying to preserve our traditional ways, our medicines, our ancient knowledge. But at the same time, we're moving into the future, into the modern technology.
Modern technology. Let me interrupt you there. You're not just a speaker, you also help. For more than 14 years, you've been helping the youth until today. So that's a good thing. So where do you want to see? Because this is my honor for you guys to be here. This is an honor for me to, we can talk about the forgotten tribe. And here you are, you're reaching them out for them to be able to help, not just your tribe. We have many tribes, but your tribe are seven tribe, right? The
Yes.
7 tribe. So we will, to follow our story, we will do this every week, and you will learn a lot from Chief Joseph Chasinghorse. A lot. I myself, when I read his story, it's so many things for him to actually send you the message what has been done to the country of United States, being part of NASA, being part of an ambassador, helping the youth, helping the community, and here he is. Until today, he still want to do it. So tell me about where do you want to go, the Lakota Nation tribe? We call it nation, right? Not
Yes.
tribe.
They are the original caretakers. They are the original guardians of the sacred lands, particularly the Black Hills of South Dakota, what we call it the Hesapa in our language, which is the heart of the North American continent. And it's also one of the longest court cases in the history of the United States, still in litigation, in which we seek the return of these lands for our survival, for our spiritual ceremonies that took place there. And so the Lakota people, in a way to create and to educate the public who are totally unaware of many things that indigenous people are facing today.
Okay, since you mentioned that, I would like to hear that from you. As you heard him, they are the owner of the Rushmore and the Black Hills. Black Hills is still in the government sector. That means it's still lucid, correct? It's still, and I don't know when are they gonna release that. I don't know when are they gonna. Do you know what they're going to do?
I think through education and through historical events, as well as the star knowledge, can verify our existence of how long that our culture, our language, and our civilization has been here. And also to reiterate Awo'oyake, things that were foretold by our ancestors long ago, that there would come a time, even Crazy Horse foretold a time that would come when all the colors of mankind would gather here under the sacred tree of life. and that it shall be a blessing when the Indian people brought the wisdom back. It will be a blessing for a sick world.
How do you feel about this, brother, Chief Joseph Jr.? Do you think so you feel that you become neglected or you become betrayed? How do you feel about it? Do you think so the government betrayed the indigenous people? Since you're the younger generation, how do you feel about it?
Well, I grew up. I grew up around. Elders, and I grew up around a whole nother generation. But yeah, there's a lot of time for everyone to learn, about what really happened to the natives. And, it's...
What do you think would you like to happen? I want you to answer that, Papa. Since you are being well connected to the government, that you're being acknowledged, one of the ambassadors for them, and also represent your Lakota tribe or nation.
Well,
What do you want to happen? Because as you mentioned, the Black Hills, the Rasmore, that the government has been neglected, the indigenous people, and your tribe alone.
Well, I think a lot of education to the historical aspect, but also to create a future. And we have to rely on our wisdom and to bring all sources of knowledge, so to speak, to the table so that we can make some sort of future for everyone, some sort of future for our children. And so we believe that bringing all of the diversity, bringing more communication capabilities, bringing more networking, more jobs, and more industries, and to not only the Lakota people, but throughout the
Tribe nation,
the tribes.
the indigenous people.
Yes, and to seek that economic sustainability that we all dream of when we come here to this land here.
So you're saying the government has been not supporting 100%, but here you are, you wanting to know that, hey, we are here, we are existence, we need the support, we need someone to help us out to gain back, education, technology, housing, healthcare, to know more about them, to learn about the how do you call this? Their language, their food, their tradition. I think, as you said, you want to do one nation, one diversity.
Yes, because we, according to the wisdom of our elders, they've been living here for many generations and practicing our democracy. Before they landed on the shores, they were foreign to the form of democracy that we have today, and which they learned from the Native American people, the Six Nations of the Iroquois, and how to not to govern over people, but to govern through people, through the power of the people. And many of their foods that they have on their dinner tables were originated from Native American agriculture, and many of their development through acquiring lands that belong to tribal nations and utilizing it among their industries and to develop and to progress. And so we have treaties that are valid today with the federal government, and we have trust responsibilities with the federal government on hunting, fishing, all different forms of access and use of tribal lands. And so we must bring all sources of knowledge together to create that common ground and among not only in indigenous nations and the government, but throughout the world. There must be a global effort in order to bring about a balance again to not only the environment but to mankind and other species of life that share this planet with us. And so many people that have been here 7 generations now, practicing native democracy, eating the food, breathing the air, drinking the water. You know, we are all indigenous now. And we are a part of that earth that we all share.
I think that the generation now can learn more or modernization, but still we want to bring them up as you're the young generation. So you still have to practice the culture. You have to still maintain that culture until today. And you want to educate the American, Native American, that it already wants to be in out on the, I don't know how we consider that, out of the tribe, correct, brother? Out of the tribe. So they want to be able to, yeah, global. They want to be able to learn the modernize outside the tribe. But still you want them to not to forget the tradition, the culture of the indigenous people. As you mentioned, hunting, fishing, all those things, words. I want to learn that language. That is amazing to learn the language. It is amazing also that people are depending only on the medicinal plant. Is that correct? Mm-hmm. And I believe that's what you want to happen also, to have the Island Turtle University to learn more about the indigenous people, especially the Lakota Nation. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you, Papa, it was so fascinating that here you are. We should have you being a public speaker to learn more about the tribe, the indigenous people, and who you guys are. Because we sometimes there is a debate: who owned the country, who owned the nation, who, you know, just like other countries saying, who found the United States. That's a questionable, right? Do you agree?
I agree.
You agree with that? Al, how about you? Do you agree?
Yeah.
Do you agree? How about you, James? Do you agree with that? Who actually found the United States?
As I mentioned, it's almost a replica of the form of democracy. That, many of the traditional councils throughout the land govern through the people. And and but of course, they were the women's right to vote was not allowed in that time, and also they took out the sacred and our connection to the earth, and so therefore a lot of environmental consequences that we're facing today and that were created a generation ago, and a lot of values that are deteriorating in our country. And in order to preserve and to protect, we rely a lot on our family structure. We rely upon a lot on our values within the family structure and within the community, our little Tioshbae, which is an extended relatives of uncles, aunties, cousins, but we are all, and so it's a, and to preserve those songs, those ceremonies, and then also to create for the future, for our children, those economic opportunities, as well as access to for education. And so the basics is all of our families and what we've been able to receive and from them and to live in this world that we live in. But we call it a Tioshbae, which means a small community that lives in balance with their environment, that lives in balance with nature.
Wow, as you can see, we can learn a lot. And for me, I've been reading about everything, but of course, I'm not there yet. So we can learn to our Chief Joseph Chasinghorse. He is a speaker and has been traveling around the world, around the USA, to become a public speaker and learn about the tribe, the indigenous people, and learn about Lakota Nation. Lakota Nation. I see that word that you just said. Is that, how do you call that? Lakota Star Knowledge. By the way, he wrote this book, so if you guys want to purchase this book, Lakota Star Knowledge, Studies in Lakota Star Theology by Ronald, who is the Ronald Goldman?
He is an instructor of the Sintegrishka University that helped the elders and myself publicize this document of historical record of the star knowledge of the Lakota people.
Wow. Well, we're not going to talk much about it. It's a lot of things to learn from them and to learn more about them. If you want to join us, come join us here at 317 South 6th Street. So every Thursday, we're going to do the episode on them. Right now, we're not talking much about it because I want to preserve, and also they will come, and one day they will be wearing the traditional outfit. I want to try that too. I think it's so cool. It's so colorful, and it's really, really like we should preserve it. And as everybody are saying that, I believe some of the indigenous people has become neglected. You know, what happened to our government? Why? What's wrong? Let's talk about that next week. And also, Chief Chasinghorse will be bringing some probably of other special people. And maybe this time he will be my co-host on this. We're going to talk about Lakota Nation story. And of course, my young brother here, he is wow, acknowledge and a young chief now, and he wants to teach. He wants them to know that there is an access, that they were not being neglected. So they want to make sure that you guys can learn their traditional, the language, the food, everything. I want to learn about the star knowledge. I know I remember when we talk to the elderly, they talk about the stars, all these things. Power, water, air, dance with the wolves. I wanna experience that. I did experience the ceremony already, and then there's coming events, right? Dancing with the wolves.
Dancing with the Morongos.
The Morongos, yes, you guys have the Morongos. They do that when the moon is bright, correct?
Yeah.
See, it's real. They are here. They're real. Remember, you watched the movie. By the way, they have a documentary, and his father is there. He is the main act, and he's the one who actually blow the whistle.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. My God, that's a bone of the
Eagle.
eagle.
Yeah, eagle bone.
So that is we gotta put that on our TV that you guys can watch, and also there's another shows with you, right?
Mm-hmm.
See, there's so many things that we can learn. So we're gonna do next week, and then he will be speaking because he is actually a speaker. He talks about their tribe, their 7 of them, who owns the Black Hills, who owns the Rossmore, that taken away by the government.
I have one question.
Go ahead.
Is there going to be Indian bread?
Yes, she has a question to you, Papa.
Is there going to be Indian bread?
Oh, yeah. Lots of Indian.
Lots of it.
My favorite.
You're crazy. That's crazy question. Okay. Do you have any question?
No.
Do you want to learn about their language?
Yes. About
They are existent. They are here. They are actually. It's just sad, but now I believe the government are trying their best to become acknowledged or helping you out. There's a lot of grant that the indigenous people can actually apply for it. I think they need health care, they need education, They are being neglected. But let's talk about that next week. Once again, this is Arielle Live TV, and I just want to introduce, and it's my honor that, they're going to be part of my show. And I believe Papa Chasing, I call him Papa. And Mama, you're watching right now. We're live right now. But anyway, brother, I believe your desire for the young generation is to let them know that you guys exist. That you guys, as an indigenous people, you become in a high-tech technology. In fact, we're going to talk about, they have this better than solar. They have the solar.
They have the solar.
Yes, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that next week.
Yes.
Yes, this solar is amazing. So we're going to talk about that next week. And stay tuned for that. So if you want to join here and watch our shows, and as you waited also, and you want to talk to them, invite them to your incoming immigration reform. I think that'd be good. So you can shout out, brother.
Thank you for having us, Arielle. Blessings to all.
I didn't even talk about him. I only talk about Hab, because it's gonna take me forever to say. I was reading it. It's like, what, NASA? Wow! For 14 years, you've been, supporting the youth, education to the not just a tribe. It's actually the whole nation. That's amazing. Wow. Well, we should be doing that here every week.
Yes.
That's amazing. But thank you so much for being here. And as I mentioned, we're just going to talk about little, and then later on we will see them in their outfit. It's beautiful, it's colorful, and
wow.
yeah, you know that they're the only one who has that. The tribe, the indigenous people, they are the only allowed to have the eagle thing.
Yes. Under federal statutes.
Wow. And also, listen to this, is they're the only allowed to have that lapayote, correct? Lapayote? Lapayote?
Yes. Under
What is that?
For ceremonial use.
Oh,
You know what is that, sis? A cactus. But they only raise that in California, correct?
In
Brother?
Texas. Yeah.
Texas, yeah.
Texas? Only Texas. And you're not allowed to eat that. You're not allowed to touch it. They are the only allowed to have that. Because it's a sacred food. You don't know that?
I didn't know that.
Now you're learning. Okay, we're gonna learn a
Wow,
lot.
we're gonna learn a lot.
What else the food that you're the tribe or the indigenous people are only allowed to have it and eat it and share?
Well, at one time, there was a buffalo that roamed this land by the millions, and we depended on the buffalo for shelter, medicine, clothing, knowledge, food.
Wow.
And but today there's no buffalo, so we
What
are on
happened
this
to
great-
them?
They were slaughtered by the millions in the 1800s to subjugate indigenous people because of our dependency upon them for our economic.
Wow.
And so today, as I've mentioned, we are on this hunt, to create that, rebuild the,
Wow.
not only the cultural infrastructure, but the economic.
Wow. It's so sad because when I saw the movie, brother, it's like this buffalo is like they're still there. So that means they're gone, or
Yeah, there's only a few thousand of them left. In 1934, it only came down to 36 head of them left. And then they were once again brought back and multiplied again to a point now where we have a balance again. But still in the process to restore our economic
there you
infrastructure.
go. I think how could we help them to restore their economic, to restore everything that's also to restore what is taken from them. But let's talk about that next week. And I just want to say thank you all. Thank you for watching Arielle TV, and thank you so much for joining me and be part of the show, and so we can educate the young generation that indigenous people are real life. They are here. All right. See you soon. See you next week. And of course, coming soon, Rosemary TV and some more shows. Bye for now. How do you say bye for now?
Doksha ke,
Takshaki.
Doksha, okay.
How do you say thank you?
Wopila tanka.
Wopilitanka. Oh wow, I'm learning now.
easy.
Wopilitanka. Arielle TV.